Good afternoon to all of you. Today we learned in this subject about the topic that is green manuring, and we learned about different information about this topic. Knowledge about green manuring, what are green manure, what is green manuring, what are the characteristics of green manuring, what are the importance uh, of green manuring and crops, and what are the different types or kinds of green manuring we are doing, and what are the crops suitable for green manuring, and what are the method of preparing green manuring, then the nutrient concentration of the green manure crops which help our main crop to grow well in that particular soil. And one more term is included in it, that is brown manuring. So first of all, I want to tell you about what are green manure and what are green manuring. And so the green manure crops refers to the plants which are incorporated in the soil, either they are green or they are at maturity, and then we are incorporated them in our main soil, so that they supply the adequate nutrient, especially the nitrogen, to our standing crop or to our main crop, and the process used in it, that is known as green manuring. Another definition of green manuring is that it is an plowing practice or turning of undecomposed green plant tissues into the soil for the purpose of improving the soil health, including its physical conditions like its texture, consistency, and as well as soil fertility. So there is a term soil fertility, which means it is the inherent capacity of the soil to provide nutrients to the crop plants in an adequate manner so that they can thrive well in that particular soil, and we get maximum yield and profitability from them. And another definition of green manuring is that it is the process of plowing or burying the undecomposed green plants tissues into the soil for improving the soil structure and soil fertility. So this is the definition of green manure and green manuring. Then after that, the characteristics of green manuring. What are the characteristics of green manuring? First is that it is capable of establishing is that it is tolerant to in adverse climatic condition, whether it is a drought condition or waterlogging condition, or there is a high and low temperature, etc. They are tolerable in these adverse climatic condition, and they also tolerate to pests and diseases. Third point is they can fix nitrogen with the help of a biofertilizer, that is rhizobium. Okay, rhizobium is a symbiotic nitrogen bacteria which fix the nitrogen present in our soil through root nodulation. Okay, next point is they should be capable of growing very fast, and they can be supplying about fixed nitrogen in 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, they can fix the nitrogen in 4 to 6 weeks. Fixation means they convert the inorganic nitrogen so that the plants take it easily. The fixation is means that, okay, that nitrogen which is not utilized by the plants are fixed by this bacteria biofertilizer, and then that nitrogen can be fixed by these plants in 4 to 6 weeks. And these plants are easy to incorporate, and they are very quickly decomposed in that particular soil when we incorporated these green manure crops into it. How different green manuring crops are is different for different crops. Like for dhencha, it is 40 to 45 kg per hectare. For sunhemp, it is 40 to 50 kg per hectare. And for moong, which is also known as green gram, the seed rate for it is 25 to 30 kg per hectare. And manuring or fertilizing की बात करें, so in manuring purpose we are using super phosphate at the rate of 150 kg per hectare, and which will be applied at last plowing. Means if you are doing 3 to 4 plowing, so you have to apply it on third plowing or in fourth plowing. Okay, which increases the phosphorus availability of the succeeding rise. Okay, then after we have to bury these main green manure crops at the flowering stage. Okay, in denture we incorporate denture in 6 to 8 when it is 6 to 8 weeks old. Okay, means 2 months. Okay, approximately. And similarly for sunham we need 1 month. The sunham should be 1 month of 1 month, and it then it is incorporated in our main field. Then during decomposition there should be a proper availability of moisture there, and which allowed me about 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, for proper decomposition process it they require 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. Then what is the principle of green manuring crops? Means what kinds of crop we have to sown in our for green manure purpose. So we are using both legume and non-leguminous crops, but preferably uh, green. Or we are focusing on the leguminous crops because they fix the nitrogen present in the soil, and we don't need fertilizer if we are doing green manuring crop using the leguminous crops. So there is a, I can say the nitrogen requirement should be less because these manures already incorporate, or I can say convert the nitrogen or fix the nitrogen in the soil, which is easily and directly available to our crop plants. Okay. So this is the green manuring crops. Means green manuring in situ crops are sunham, cowpea, lucerne, denja. There are many more like berseem also, pea also. So you have to learn the examples of green manuring crops in situ. So these all are the green manuring crops in situ. This one is dhancha, which is also called as Sisbania aculeata, then sunham, that is Crotalaria juncea, then cowpea, which is Vigna sinensis, then lucerne, that is Medicago sativa. So these all are the green manuring crops in situ. Then we talk about green leaf manuring. So for green leaf manuring, we are using subabul, we are using neem, we are using wild indigo, we are using wild dhancha. Okay, so the scientific name of wild angel is Bania speciosa. The scientific name of wild indigo is Tephrosia purpurea because they have purple flowers. Okay, that's why it is known as Tephrosia purpurea. Then neem, that is Azadi rachta indica. So these are the crops which we are using for green leaf manuring. Means we have to collect their flowers, their twigs, their leaves, and then we have to incorporate them in our main field. Then we talk about the nutrient content of green leaf manuring crops. So, as you seeing in this table that we have different kinds of green leaf manure crops. Okay, like Glyceridia, Pongamia, Neem, Gulmohar, Peltophorum, and some weeds are also used as green manure crops because, like the Parthenium, water hyacinth, Trianthema, Ipomia, then Calotropis, Cassia fistula. So the weeds are also be used as a green leaf manure crop. Okay. So first, in case of plants, where you are seeing different concentration of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash, and maximum concentration of nitrogen will be seeing in Pongamia glabra. Okay, and in case of I can say P2O5, that is phosphorus, you are seeing in Gulmohar the phosphorus content maximum is in Glumohar, that is 0.46%, and Glyceridia have higher percentage of potash, that is 4.60%. Similarly, for weeds, there is different NPK concentration. So maximum nitrogen concentration was found in water hyacinth. Okay, and water hyacinth is also known as terror of Bengal. Then the concentration of nitrogen in it is 3.01%. Then the phosphorus concentration of is maximum similarly in water hyacinth, and the potash concentration was maximum in Parthenium hysterophorus. So this is all about the nutrient concentration of green leaf manures. Then we talk about the advantages of green leaf manuring, or I can say green manuring. So first they add the organic matter into it, and also improves the microbial activity in the soil. Then they also improves the soil structure, and it also acts as a cover crop because somehow they can penetrate the rainwater. They also decrease the soil erosion process. It prevents the soil erosion and decreases the runoff. Fourth point is nutrient taken up from the deeper layers by greenly manure crops and return the nutrients to the topsoil. And mostly we are using legume crops, so they also add nitrogen into it. So then we talk about the limitations. So uh, the everything which we are using or which we are telling the advantages, same they have the drawbacks also. So in rain-fed condition, the green manure crop will not decompose readily due to there is a lack of water. Okay, then green manure is feasible for assured irrigation facility, means irrigation facility should be there, then green manure manuring is done properly, otherwise it is not done properly. Okay, then the cost of growing these green manure crop is more costlier than the fertilizers application. Okay, then for higher cropping intensity, land is unavailable, because what we think that if we are doing broadcasting, so there is a maximum, I can say the maximum plant population grown there, and where we have to sow our uh, other crop, our main crop. Okay, so there is a the cropping intensity is higher for our land. So for green manure cultivation, it is, I can say, I it cannot be comparable to our main crop, because they have very, I can say, they have the canopy area is very higher as compared to our main crop. Okay, next point is sometimes what happened, if there is a improper decomposition of these green manure crops, different kinds of insects, pests, and nematodes attack on that green manure crop, and due to which our main crop get affected, and that is why the yield, there should be yield losses, risk of yield losses. Okay, then tips for harvesting maximum benefit from green manuring. So first there is a 3 points. Okay, so first point is choice of crop. So mostly the preference should be given to leguminous crops. If available, you have to only grow leguminous crop as a green manuring crop. Then the time of sowing. The best time of sowing these green manure crops is the first monsoon showers. Okay, and the method of sowing should be broadcasting. That is not be using, we don't use seed drill for that. Then time gap between incorporation and sowing of next crop. So it is depend upon our weather conditions, our soil conditions, and nature of buried green material. We have to incorporate depending upon the type of crop, means we have to incorporate before month. Okay, or after 2 to 3 months, depending upon which kind of crop we are using as a green manure crop, which is the which crop we are using as main crop. Okay. Then different crops have different nitrogen addition in the soil. So sunhap has 84 kg per hectare, means it fixes 84 kg of nitrogen into the soil as a green manure crop. Then dhancha, okay, it is 77 kg per hectare. Nitrogen is added by dhancha. Okay, 57 kg per hectare nitrogen is added through cowpea, and 80 kg per hectare nitrogen is added through P. Then 38 kg per hectare of black gram and green gram fixes 38 kg of nitrogen in the soil. So this is the potential of green manure crops through mainly focusing on nitrogen,
मैम
because
एक
they all are the
मैम
leguminous crops. जी
मैम
बोलो.
जैसे ढैंचा 77
Yes.
केजी पर हेक्टेयर ना कितना डालने पे ढैंचा ये 77 केजी देता है अमाउंट कितना है ढैंचा
40
का
to 45 kg per hectare. If we are growing 45, 40 to 45 kg per hectare, we are using dhancha in our
अरे
main field.
वो जो सीड्स
And
रेट था
it
उसी में आता
added
है
nitrogen. Sorry.
जो आगे सीड रेट पड़ा था ना मैम ढैंचा और उसका 40 और 45 और 40 और 50 था ना वैसे सीड रेट का
हाँ.
बेसिस में ये है क्या 77 केजी पर हेक्टेयर
Yes, yes. देखो
अच्छा
per hectare. Okay.
ओके मैम
It is for 1 hectare. Then at last there is important conclusive points for green manuring. So it is the cheap way of improving the soil fertility. Then legume crop is preferable for green manuring. Then they also act as a cover crop, so that in soil erosion areas, so that they can reduce the runoff process. Then a good amendment source of soil reclamation, means if there is any acidity or basicity of soil is present, so it act as a good amendment. Then young leaves can be incorporated immediately after planting, but older crop is to be buried after 4 to 8 weeks ahead of the planting. Then optimum dose of green biomass is 4 to 5 tons per hectare. What does it mean? That we have to use 4 to 5 tons of green manure, green leaf manure, okay, for 1 hectare. Then green manure is as act as efficient, similar to urea. If one side you are supplying urea and another side you are growing green manure crop, so green manure crop efficiently act as urea, okay, or ammonium sulfate. Then it is I can say low input natural farming. It is the main component of natural farming. Then one term is there, that is brown manuring. So one thing I want to tell you that this question is also come in MSc, I can say in JRF also, and in net exams also, that what is brown manuring. So but what is it? It is the technique in which we are growing Cisbania, means dhancha, in a standing rice crop and kill them with the help of herbicide for manuring. What we have to do is we are growing the Cisbania, okay, dhancha, and then we are applying some kind of herbicide in it, and that is known as brine. After killing the color of Cisbania, the residue become brown. Means when you supply any kind of fertilizer, herbicide or any kind of insecticide, you see that plants come to at a, I can say, death stage. Okay, or senescence stage, in which it lost all its green color. So similarly, when we apply herbicide on dhancha, so it become, I can say, the green color get lost out, and the color become brown of that dhancha, and it act as a brown manuring. Okay, so we are if we are using Cisbania crop at the rate of 20 kg per hectare as broadcasting, and we have to broadcast it for 3 days after the rice sowing. and we leave it for 1 month, and then we for drying purpose we are using 2,4-D ethyl ester, which supplied up to 30 kg per hectare nitrogen. Okay, so what it is does that it contain 35 kg per hectare nitrogen, and it also have dry matter, and some kind of broadleaf weeds also be controlled by spraying of 2,4-D ethyl ester, and the yield also become higher, about 4 to 5 quintal per hectare, due because it act as a organic matter if we are using this bania. Okay, so this is all about today's lecture, and the following are the references if you want to study about this in brief or in detail. So you have to follow these books and the hyperlinks. And this is all about today lecture. And now we have some query session. If anyone have a query, so he or she may ask me. Is there any query to anyone?
मैम
Yes.
मैम ग्रीन मैन्योर के डेफिनेशन में जो हमने फर्स्ट में ग्रीन मैन्योर मटेरियल्स आर इनकॉर्पोरेटेड इनटू द सोइल आफ्टर द मैच्योरिटी था ना मैम,
Yeah.
आफ्टर मैच्योरिटी होगा या बिफोर मैच्योरिटी मैम?
See, if we are using leaves, okay, if we
Yes
are
मैम.
using the twigs, ठीक है, that is before the maturity, क्योंकि leaves तो पहले ही आ जाएंगी ना,
Yes
right?
मैम.
देखो वहां पे दो डेफिनेशन उन्होंने क्लियर आउट करी हैं. उन्होंने उसमें ग्रीन मैन्योरिंग इन सीटू की भी डेफिनेशन दी है, मींस यू हैव टू इनकॉर्पोरेट देम आफ्टर मैच्योरिटी, when they reached at a flowering stage, then we have to incorporate it in our main field, that is green manuring in situ. And when we are doing incorporating only the leaves or the twigs of that green manure crops, that come under green leaf manuring. Clear?
मैम इन शूटिंग में भी तो हम जब मैच्योरिटी टाइम मैच्योरिटी से आफ्टर मैच्योरिटी हम इनकॉर्पोरेट करेंगे तो मैम मैच्योरिटी टाइम में भी तो न्यूट्रिएंट अपटेक करेगा ना मैम सोइल से.
तो वो करेगा ही, वो तो ऑब्वियस है, वो तो ग्रीन
तो
मैन्योरिंग की जस्ट
मैम
डेफिनेशन है
आपको
ना.
बेनिफिशियल तो बिफोर
वो
मैच्योरिटी
डिफरेंट
होगा
डिफरेंट
मैम.
डेफिनेशन है, लाइक मैं बताती हूँ. लेट मी क्लियर इट. देखो इन ग्रीन मैन्योरिंग में आपने एग्जांपल्स पढ़ी थी इन सीटू में, डेंचा, सनहेम्प, राइट. तो वो क्या
यस
है,
मैम.
वो श्रब्स हैं, दे कैन इजीली बी इनकॉर्पोरेटेड. ओके.
यस मैम.
वहीं अगर हम बात करें ग्रीन लीफ मैन्योरिंग, अब आपको पता है कि उसमें हम ट्रीज के भी ले रहे हैं, जैसे सूबा वूल हो गया, नीम हो गया, उनकी हम लीव्स ले रहे हैं. We can't incorporate the whole tree into it, so we are using some part of it or some branches for that. समझ आई
मैम समझ मैम इंस्टीट्यूट में तो
पंकज?
हम होल प्लांट इनकॉर्पोरेट करता है ना मैम, जैसे दहीता का है.
स्टैंडिंग क्रॉप में इंस्टीट्यूट में तुगरा
Pankaj, please clear me. What are you saying?
मैम जो इंस्टीट्यूट फर्टिलाइजर मैन्योरिंग है ना मैम, ग्रीन मैन्योरिंग,
Hmm.
उसमें तो हम
Hmm.
जैसे ढैंचा ग्रो करती है तो होल प्लांट भी तो हम इनकॉर्पोरेट करते हैं ना इंस्टीट्यूट मेथड में. तो
Hmm. Hmm.
फिर मैम हम आफ्टर मैच्योरिटी इंस्टीट्यूट में इनकॉर्पोरेट करोगे तो मैम वो तो हार्डी नेचर का हो जाएगा ना मैम, इजी डिकम्पोज नहीं होगा ना ढैंचा.
They are semi woody.
यस
They are
मैम.
not woody. We are not
हार्डी
preferred.
नेचर होगा
अगर
ना
हम,
मैम.
क्योंकि मेरी बात सुनो, जैसे राइस में लिग्निन कंटेंट होता है जिसकी वजह से वो ग्रीन रहता है, ठीक है.
यस
तो हम जो ग्रीन मैन्योरिंग क्रॉप्स यूज कर रहे हैं, वी आर नॉट यूजिंग एनी हर्बेशियस क्रॉप, वी आर यूजिंग सेमी वुडी और वुडी क्रॉप, सो दैट दे कैन इजीली बी इनकॉर्पोरेटेड एट दैट टाइम. और हम देखो, अब मेरे को एक चीज बताओ, एक छोटा सा बच्चा है, ठीक है, स्मॉल, देयर इज अ 2 year old किड है, ठीक है, उसमें ज्यादा एनर्जी होगी या जो मेच्योर बच्चा है उसमें ज्यादा एनर्जी होगी?
मैम वो फूड भी तो ज्यादा लेगा ना मैम जो मैच्योर होगा.
तो वही तो
उसे
बात है. अब ग्रीन मैन्योरिंग क्रॉप्स को भी हम देखो, अब वो प्रॉपरली हम पहले तो नहीं कर रहे, ये तो है नहीं कि जब बड आई है तो तभी हमने उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट किया, वो बड भी लीफ में कन्वर्ट हुई होगी तभी हम उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट कर रहे हैं ना.
यस मैम।
ठीक है, हम पूरे प्लांट को कब इनकॉर्पोरेट करेंगे, जब वो अपने आप पूरा सारा मतलब कि जब वो हेल्दी होगा, आई कैन से। ठीक है, हम उसको पहले सोइंग होगी प्रॉपर, उसमें वो सारे नाइट्रोजन को फिक्स करेगा, बिकॉज उन्होंने लिखा था एवरी क्रॉप जो है वो नाइट्रोजन फिक्स करती है 4 to 6 वीक में, राइट।
यस मैम। यस मैम।
तो उसको उतना तो उसको टाइम चाहिए ना उस चीज को फिक्स करने के लिए।
जी मैम।
ठीक है,
मैम ऑप्टिमम टाइम तो फ्लावरिंग स्टेज है ना मैम, जब आफ्टर
मतलब
मैच्योरिटी
कि
तो।
हाँ मेच्योरिटी, जब उसका वेजिटेटिव फेज जो है वो खत्म होने पे होता है और फ्लावरिंग स्टेज स्टार्टिंग पे होती है, तब हम उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट कर देते हैं।
यस मैम।
क्योंकि ना हमें उससे, देखो हमें सिर्फ उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट पर्पस के लिए यूज करना है, वी आर नॉट यूजिंग दैट क्रॉप फॉर अवर कंजप्शन पर्पस।
यस मैम।
क्योंकि उसका सारा, अगर हम कंजप्शन की बात करें तो अगर फ्लावरिंग के बाद अगर उसमें फ्रूटिंग हो गई, तो आपको भी पता है वो सारी जितना भी उस पूरे प्लांट ने कमाया है वो सारा उस फ्रूट में, उस पर्टिकुलर कंजप्टिव पार्ट में चला जाएगा, राइट।
हाँ वही बोल रहा हूँ मैम, जब आफ्टर मैच्योरिटी होगा तो वही प्रोसेस तो आएगा ना मैम, फिर सब
हाँ, सिर्फ
न्यूट्रिएंट
फ्लावरिंग
कंटेंट।
स्टेज से पहले पहले, मतलब कि जब फ्लावरिंग स्टेज चल रही हो तब आपको इनकॉर्पोरेट कर देना है। ये ना हो वहां पे पूरा प्लांट तैयार हो गया है, कंजप्टिव पार्ट भी इसका तैयार हो गया और हम उसको इनकॉर्पोरेट कर रहे हैं, नॉट एट दैट टाइम।
ओके मैम।
एनी अदर क्वेरी?
नो मैम।
स्टूडेंट्स बी रेगुलर, बिकॉज इस बार स्ट्रिक्टनेस बहुत है, ठीक है, जैसे आपको पता ही है। इन एग्जाम्स ऑल्सो देयर इज अ प्रॉपर एक पैटर्न चला है ना कि 1 बजे के बाद किसी का पेपर आया तो ही और शी विल बी एब्सेंट। सो सिमिलर प्रोसेस फॉर द अटेंडेंस ऑल्सो, यू गेट फाइंड, और बाद में आपको फाइन देने में बहुत दिक्कत आएगी। ठीक है, इज दिस लेक्चर इज सफिशिएंट फॉर यू? आपको समझ में आ गया सबको?
यस मैम।
यस मैम।
यहाँ पर तो यस कर देते हो, पेपर में भी थोड़ा लिख लुक लिया करो। चलो ऑनलाइन तो लिख ही लेते हो। Okay students, I am launching the polls. Okay, so answer that. Is my screen is visible?
यस मैम।
Okay.